I have a couple of questions for you. First of all, my first question, so, well, the way that I was just like, I really got a high grade in my, for example, GI course, right? So I was just like, oh, I understood. I studied pathology, like a pathoma book. And then I realized, oh, I did not understand some part. And then I understood. And then I was doing question and then I forgot what I was understood, if that makes sense. So it's just like, I'm, it's like I'm keep learning and I'm like, oh, that's moment, right? And then I forget. And it's just kind of like, so it makes me feel so sad, if that makes sense. So I don't know if it's
Part of it.
normal, if that's happening for everyone, but I just don't understand why this is keep happening.
It's certainly part of it in the beginning, but also now you're being a lot more cognizant of your studying. I mean, I know you just joined a couple weeks ago, but you definitely now are being much more cognizant of how you're going about the actual learning process. You're focusing more on understanding rather than just memorizing. That the number one mistake that the majority of med students make is they think I got to memorize this for my test. I got to just shove this into my brain and hope it doesn't fall out until 12 hours after the exam. If you do that, I've been in your shoes, but you will forget it. And by the time that you see this concept again, you will actually literally not even understand it. And so if you go onto school and check out, let me see if I can find it here.
Wait, I mean, after you're done, I'll talk.
This chart is really cool. So if you look at it right here, you learned something 0 hours since you learned it. Boom. You got 100% understanding, right? You listen to a lecture, you're like, holy crap, this is awesome. I totally get it. Within 6 days, you literally have forgotten 80% of it. And to me, 80% means that you literally don't even understand what that concept is. Like if you took a multiple choice test, 80% forgetting means you literally took a complete guess on the question and you're going to score like 20%, right? So that's why you have to see it a second time. Boom. Okay. So you see it a day later. And now look at your forgetting curve. If you forget it 6 days after that, you're still only down to 30%. So now you have at least a 1 in 3 chance of getting the question correct. All right, now you do second repetition. Okay, now 6 days later, you're getting about 48%. And so if you think about it, where do most people start in their U-World scores? Anywhere from 40 to 50% is usually like the average for where people start out at. Some people will be higher, some people will be lower, but let's stick with 40 to 50%. How many times do you see the information for your classes? Usually one time with 2 repetitions, right? Most people see class material about 3 times. Where does that leave you? Right here at that 40 to 50% range. It's perfectly normal. So the one thing you have to realize with yourself is the repetitions are what actually matter. And so here's U-World right here. U-World's your 3rd repetition. Or we could even say this is your crash course U-World, however you want to look at it. 3rd repetition. Okay, now you're starting to hit closer to that 60 range. And obviously this is going to slope downwards over time and maybe you'll end up 55 to 65% range. But where do people usually end up after their first run through of U-World? Well, maybe 10 to 20% higher than when they started it because now they've seen some of that stuff. They have an extra repetition, right? And so it's all just, I mean, it seems like it's magic, but literally all of med school is just being able to fit more repetitions in faster, right? Like we have all these different study strategies. Some of them are super freaking awesome. But at the end of the day, if you had 10 years to go through the content and just keep repeating it, obviously the person who has that many repetitions is going to know the material better. You just don't have that much time. And so the whole point of all this stuff is to find ways to fit more into less time, right? So the faster you can move, the more repetitions, the better your retention. And so that's why one thing that I'm pretty adamant about is you don't have to have everything memorized with each pass through. You have to just understand it because you have the retention and the memorization on the application phase, then the memorization phase, then the perfection phase, right? In the UAMP learning curve. So if you think about it here, this first run through, boom, that's you. You're understanding it for the first time. This first repetition, that's your A, right? So you're applying it now. Maybe you're quizzing with a friend, right? Or you're doing practice questions. So that's your first repetition. Second repetition. Now you can start memorizing. You can start broaching into that. Most people try memorizing on the very first run through. That's never going to work because it'll take so long. A 1 hour lecture may take you 4 hours to annotate and try and memorize that lecture, maybe even longer. But then compare that to somebody that it's a 1 hour lecture. They watch it on 1.5, 1.75 speed, get it done in 40 minutes, and then have time to now see that lecture instead of 4 hours. They did it in 40 minutes. They can see it 40 minutes, 80 minutes, 120 minutes, 160 minutes, 200 minutes. I mean, you can see it like 5-6 times in the same amount of time period if you just move quicker rather than like trying to get all the UAMP learning curve all right off the bat on the first run through. So your goal right now is speed. Your goal is to move through stuff. If you forget it, fine, you're going to still see it in UWorld. Boom. Okay, move. Keep on rolling. And so that's going to be the motto for the next week for you. I want you to check in at our next live session and put a sticky note on your computer and literally write, I will move faster. Like make that your motto, your mantra for the week. So every time that you're like, oh, let me just dive deeper into this, or let me just kind of look on Google, look on AMBOSS, look on Encyclopedia Britannica, I don't know. Like whenever you want to like extrapolate and use a million different resources and kind of stress yourself out with that, I want you to read that sticky note that says, I will move faster. And so give yourself that internal subconscious prod to keep moving forward, to keep pushing yourself.
Okay. So you mentioned that you want me to do more, like at the beginning, like, I don't know, 200 RX question before I move toward the board. So you still think that I should do that, right? Or no?
No, I didn't want you to, it wasn't 200 RX questions. I was saying if your basis was really weak, we can utilize RX right now. I wanted you to do 200 UWorld questions. But what you can do right now is after the session over the next couple of days, take 5 40-question blocks and let me know your score. I need at least that many questions to know where you're at baseline. That's about 3 or 4% of UWorld. I need to at least have that much of a data set to be able to have a good understanding of where you're at so I can advise you further. But you can certainly do that and then send me your score, and then we'll adjust things as we need to throughout the week.
So how many did you say? 40 question per block?
5 blocks of 40 questions.
5 blocks. I mean, I haven't done even like I can do endo, I can do probably repro, and then I don't even GI, and then maybe heme. So okay, so I can just find 5, which I already review, and then just do 5. But then how long do I need to take a time for 40 questions?
It'll take you 1 hour to do it, and try to squeeze your review process into about 4 to 5 hours.
Okay, so let me write it down. So 1 hour to do the question. And by the way, I'm doing, okay, do I need 1 hour? I think I already told you I have ADHD and then everything. So 1 hour for the question, and I'm having extra time on the board exam. Should 1 hour is enough?
I forgot you do have the extra time. So whatever percentage of extra time have they told you how much you're going to get?
1.5. Like
so then just do it instead of 1 hour, do it in 90 minutes.
So 90 minutes for 40 questions. And then what about the review?
With the review, I would try and do it in 4 hours is kind of the goal. But if you need to take an extra hour or 2, that's not the end of the world.
Okay, 1 and then 2. And then, so with that being said, with the next week, if I want to do, like, I cannot even do the whole 40 question with the, reviewing and everything till the next week.
Just keep me updated as you go. You're not going to do it all at once because you're in classes right now, so you're busy.
Yes, so I'm
just keep me updated. That's all you got to do.
Okay, so till the next time, I'm doing 40 to 60 that you mentioned, and then for whatever I have time, I'm doing the question. And then do I need to review immediately after I'm doing the question, or just do the 40 question first and then go back and review them?
So for you right now, I want you to just do the questions and then you can review them at a later time afterwards, after you're done with the actual practice set. Moving forward though, after I get this information, then I'm going to have you actually review it after you do each question.
Because I think that kind of like stuck more on my head. Yeah. I think if I review it after I do it, because it's just kind of like, my brain is kind of like already involved. So it's going to stick more, if that makes sense.
No, absolutely.
But then for right now, I'll do the 40 and then, okay. And then 90. Okay. And one more question. So sometimes I'm getting...
Let's move on to somebody else's question, and we can come back to yours at the end. That way that everybody can ask their question.
Oh, sure. So I can I'm studying, and then at the end, I'll ask you.
Absolutely. Sounds good. Awesome. Let's fire away. Who's got some other questions? Let's keep it rolling so everybody can get their questions answered. Go ahead and just shout it out if you got a question.
I have a question. Hi, how are you?
What's up?
Yeah, my question is kind of short. So I've been studying I'm doing my practice questions for step 2, right? So I have this issue with the abstract questions. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. The ones that give you like an abstract on this side, and then on the other side, they ask you like, it's biostatistic, I think. I don't know how to approach those, because those are not like you read the the end of the question and then you go to the beginning. So how would you do it? Because I see all that information and I don't know where to start.
That's a really good question. Those questions. So depending on where you read, what you read, the NBME has not released a recent official statement about this, but generally in the past, they've said that up to 25% of the questions on your exam are experimental and will be thrown out. So that's just like a NBME kind of rule of thumb. A lot of those abstract questions are ones that get thrown out. So that's first thing to keep yourself comfortable with. Point number two
Great.
is I generally, for the ones that they're like a whole thing of text this big, right? Like it's very overwhelming when you read it. For those, I generally will just take a glance at the answer choices. Are they percentages? Are they like one-word answers? Is it a big text block? What kind of a vibe do I need to have going through this? Because if it's like percentages or something like that, then you know you got to start doing calculations throughout the question stem. So you're looking for, okay, what kind of calculations am I going to have to do? But then after I quickly look at that, I'm saying like 5 seconds max. Boom. I just start at the beginning for those long ones because there's not really the lead-in, clue-in structure that you're used to. And so you can just read that from beginning to end after you look at the answer choices. There's no great way to practice those. I'll be honest. I do have, let me pull it up for you guys here. I'm working on ethics concept review for steps 1 through 3 here. It's getting pretty in depth. I've got it down to, let's see. Yeah, we got about almost 50 points on here of different ethics concepts, as well as like some official NBME practice questions with it. So that'll be helpful. I can send that to you after this call. It's still in progress. It's not 100% done, so it'll be longer in the future. But this, if anybody needs this, I can send this over to them. It can be helpful. I'm also working on some updated biostat stuff as well. That can be helpful. There's some of the things that like I've seen on some of the CMS forms, some of the new NBME forms, like stuff that you're not really seeing elsewhere. So I can send those over if anybody wants to take a quick like intro look at them. Just shoot me a message, but they're, like I said, they're still somewhat in progress. As you guys see here at the top of my screen, I don't know if you can see my cursor, but literally I have like all these tabs open are reviews that I'm like actively in the process of working on. So I'm always trying to put together new stuff for you guys. Like for example, I got this OBGYN one that I'm working on right now. It's like literally 25 pages. It covers basically the 79 most high yield concepts that you can see on your self-exam step 2 and step 3. So all this, like I got a lot of stuff in the works for you, but long story short, in terms of those theoretical questions, you can also get more practice. There's a UWorld QBank for biostats that they offer, and they have kind of like a spattering of these extra questions put into there as well. I don't know if it's available right now. Sometimes they take it off their website and whatnot, but it's usually on there. It's like $25 and it gives you like an extra 100 or so questions. So that's another way to just get more repetitions. There's really no shortcut and no cheat code with these abstract questions though, simply because they're, like I said, abstract, and a lot of them get thrown out anyways because so many people miss them.
Do
So
you recommend to leave them up till the end?
Oh, absolutely. If you're on a block, I 100% would leave those to be your last questions that you do. Anytime that you get an abstract question, or anytime you get, for me, I did biostats, the abstract questions. I did, and then also for the OPP stuff for osteopathic, for your COMLEX, I would do those at the end as well. But those 3 things, I would always wait to the very end of my block. I would do all the cardio, GI, repro, like respiratory, renal, all that stuff. I would do all that, just bang through it, flag the questions that were biostats, OPP, or abstract type questions, do those at the end. I mean, I remember I got a Hardy-Weinberg question on my actual exam. I was like, dude, there ain't no shot I'm going to sit here and calculate this bull crap. Like it was like question 27 or something. I was like, this is going to be a dead last type of deal. I don't think I actually even finished it, to be honest with you. So, but
Okay, great. Thank you.
absolutely. Be comforted though that most people feel the exact same way. Most people are not going to give a crap about those questions. And so if enough people miss it, as well as if it's a poorly written abstract question, it's usually thrown out of your overall score.
Perfect. Thanks.
Awesome.